morning. Good morning, everybody. Today we're going to be doing a warm-up construction, and one of the ones that we have behind me, that's what we're going to do. Sort of a Star of David sort of look, but it's actually two interlocking triangles. And this is really a fundamental construction. So let's just give it a try. Before we get started, I'm going to remind you of a few things. So here's some tips for quality constructions. Use a sharpened pencil and a sharpened compass. Align the pencil tip with the sharp tip. So right here, we're looking at those two things being the same. And then draw lightly. So most construction marks will be erased. So if your construction mark is not very dark, don't worry about that. That's actually better. Hold the compass with one hand. So like this is the best way to hold the compass. If you go like this, then it tends to be not as precise. So just lightly drawing with spinning the compass is best. And place the sharp tip precisely on points, known points or intersection marks. So whenever two lines cross, they create an intersection mark. So you're going to want to put your tip right on the intersection mark. Okay, so that's basically some ideas to get us started. Let's look at our construction. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start with a circle. Now remember, there's two ways you can be a a paper turner, or you can be a compass twirler. I'm going to just do the twirl method here, warm up a little bit. Okay, so now I want to make, not such a small diagram. I want to make kind of a big diagram. So maybe, like that's a little more than an inch on there, somewhere like that. So, choose a point in the middle. Oh yeah, the other idea is make a point in the middle of your paper so that if your compass does slip, you can find that again. Okay, here goes. If you've been practicing your compass motions, maybe you can make a circle with one motion. Okay, now I'm going to make my first intersection mark by hand here, the intersection of the circle and the edge. And then I'm going to use the same radius. So if you change your compass, get the radius back. That radius is going to be marked around the circle. If you do this correctly, it will be exactly 6 marks or 6 sections around the circle. Placing the compass precisely on each intersection mark. Usually it's a little off when you're done. Oh, mine ended up to be really, really good. Okay, so that's really close. If it's not that close, that's okay. We're going to need a straight edge next, and we're going to draw some lines here. So my first line is going to be from one intersection point. Skip that one to the second one I get to. And we're going to do that and make a triangle. So remember, draw lightly. That was kind of dark, maybe. And since these marks are equally spaced around the circle, those are equally spaced, and that will be an equilateral triangle. We're going to make another equilateral triangle with the remaining marks. Just be careful. I usually put the pencil down on the mark first and then slide the ruler to it, because you don't really know how close to get usually, so that'll kind of tell you how close to get, and you could put the other one there. You could even line the other one up with the pencil if you want to make a nice precise mark. Okay, precision is really important when making constructions. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to make another one of these inside that one, and it's going to be in the midpoint of this segment right here. Now I'm not going to measure it or guess. I'm just going to use my existing marks here and here, and this should locate that mark. Now I don't have to make the whole diameter of the circle. It should also go through the center of the circle there. I just really need to know where those two marks are, right there and right there. And I do that 3 times, locating 6 marks. There's 2 more. And there is 2 more. Okay, so now I have my other 6 marks, and now I'm going to just make another one of those objects. Okay, that's pretty much the base, and that's a base of a lot of diagrams. The next thing is really probably the hardest part, and for this part I'm going to just do some erasing. So I'm going to erase, this is very precise, I'm going to erase just, if I go from this triangle right here, there's a little equilateral triangle here, locate one that's straight towards me, this one right here. I'm going to erase across this, and I'm just going to draw that line so I can see that. Now I'm going to draw all these lines that I will erase. So over here, I might just turn the paper to find the next one, the center of this one now to the straight towards me. Rotate it, because this is rotational symmetry, the center of that one straight towards me. Rotate it, center this one straight towards me. Rotate it, this one straight towards me. Rotate it, last one straight towards me. That just shows me what I'm going to erase. Now, in my compass kit, I have a nice eraser, and I want to erase these marks. So here we go. Okay, so I erased that line plus the lines that it crossed, and I drew that line pretty dark. That's okay. Okay. Rotate it right here. You don't have to draw those lines, but it's just hard to find what you're going to erase. And notice that I erased some of that line, and that line is supposed to stay there. So I'm just going to put it back in really quick. That line's supposed to stay there. So this shape right here, you might just recognize that shape. That's what we want. We want that shape to be here too. And here too. Two. Now, usually it doesn't look that clean when you're done, so you're going to want to darken these lines in. And if you can see exactly where your lines are, then you could just go to a pen and start drawing in your lines. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to just use a pen now to go over the lines. And I see that I go from that point to this point. And I want to make sure that I don't get that, because that would be a mistake. And maybe while I'm at it, I'll do this one here that skips that one in here. So if you kind of get a routine, you go, okay, I'm going to draw this line and not that little one. Then you could rotate it and do the same thing. And kind of work your way around. I was not getting the middle ones. Sometimes you might end up doing something wrong. Like I think I did this one wrong, but fortunately I could just add a line to make it correct. All right, now we're there. Okay, when you color this, I would choose 2 colors. Because these are 2 triangles, so if it was one triangle for one color, another triangle for another color, I'll just kind of show you some that are done up here, and you can see. All right, everybody. Can't wait to see you.